Alright, some great highlights to show you from today, Thursday's trading chat session from Greatstockpix.com, our live trading chat room. LVS, Las Vegas Sands, had a great run back here and then a long kind of a wedge pattern and just broke down. Interesting action though last few days. Nice pop here after it looked like it was rolling over, then a nice pop, then a gap up, and some sellers came back in again, I believe, thinking they can force it back down again. And then a nice, kind of rebound yesterday. I don't have today's candle on here yet. And then today it was set to open up above this recent action. So in my opinion, you've got some shorts from a couple days ago in trouble with this gap up, and it's certainly oversold anyway. This thing's overdue for a bounce. So those things are the reason why we added it to the watch list. And I'll add in today's candle. Look at that. And I'll show you how we played it on an intraday basis. Not the tightest stop we've ever called, but something like an LVS is going to need a little more wiggle room anyway. I like the fact that on the gap up it came back down, basically closed the gap, and then put in a nice green candle. Like I said, the stop's a little wide. I said if it broke this candle's high on the next candle, and we'd put our stop right here. A little bit wide, but I said in chat, as I was projecting the chart live, I said if this thing can trigger here without stopping out and get through today's high, this thing could really go. And it took a little while, and then look out, it was off to the races. So our call, 39.49, a stop 42 cents below, you can see never got hit. The thing went all the way to 42. $2.51 move in our favor on 42 cents risk. And I even suggested, and I almost never do this, that you could keep a quarter of a position. I never recommend a swing trade, almost ever anyway, but I almost never recommend a swing trade at all. I know I'm being redundant here, but this time I said a quarter of a position I'd be comfortable with an overnight hold, because look at that close. I mean, that's a very bullish chart now, and we got it down here, around 39.50. So we've got some cushion, in case there's some bad news. We got it. If you look at this, we got it down here in this tail. So with it closing up here, I'm certainly comfortable recommending an overnight on a quarter of a position. I always teach people to sell into a pop like that. Most of it, pay yourself along the way. OVTI also called in chat today. A little bit of a different scenario, but kind of the same philosophy as LVS. OVTI, look at that. I mean, after getting killed here, this is the daily chart, just gapped up and was off to the races. Became one of the strongest stocks out there. Pulled back with the market, and then the last few days after this pop up above this little base here, little consolidation, put in basically a 3-day consolidation here. And the interesting thing about it, one of our members pointed out this morning before the open, hey, look at OVTI, it's set to gap up above, open above this 3-day rally, and that's what landed it on our watch list. I hadn't even seen it for a few days. So the teamwork aspect of the website or the chat room pays off, because I probably wouldn't have seen that. So immediately in the pre-market, when we do our pre-market talk and show some charts before the opening bell, told everybody I was adding OVTI to the watch list. And I'll put in today's candle there. And again, a nice gap up and just ripped. Go to the intraday. Kind of the same philosophy as LVS. Again, a gap up. We knew if this thing could break the high of the day, it could be off to the races again because it's so strong. But we don't want to call it all the way up there. So we try to find a low-risk way in. Basically the same thing. Said if it breaks above this candle's high on the next candle, and we'll put our stop here. And there's the trigger. Stop goes down here, and look at that, off to the races again. OVTI 32.15 entry. Stop was only 24 cents below, and it went to 34.61. So almost $2.50 again. $2.46 from our entry on 24 cents risk. NOG, a different philosophy here. Just got killed yesterday on big volume. Oftentimes, this looks like an obvious short the next day to people because they say, look at that thing, it's so weak, it got killed. And anything obvious in the market rarely works, so we put this on bounce watch for a possible long. Then it was set to open down here. It was set to gap down, which I thought might even sucker in some more shorts. And you can see what happened. See the gap down, it opened down here. Show you how I called it on an intraday basis. It sold off and then put in an early high in the first 30 minutes of trading of 25.48. After the pullback, it came up, and I'll show you what it looked like. Came up and retested this high, didn't get through the high of the day, and I wouldn't have wanted to buy it if it did immediately anyway, because it's just made a big move. But this, it acted perfectly. We had sellers coming in here, A little bit more, but they couldn't push it down very far. I said above this candle right here, 25.31. The stop 18 cents below, and look what happened. 25.31. The stop never got looked at, and it went up $1.88 from where we called it on 18 cents risk, from 25.31 to 27.19. And even Best Buy, look at this. These are daily candles. Best Buy gapped up after earnings. Earnings were before the bell. Now, I'd love to be able to say we shorted this up here, but we didn't. It was a long for us, but we still had a really nice call and a nice move after the call. And I'll show it to you in just a second. But this one was interesting because our earnings were already out, okay? So it's already been decimated and then had a long base to play out of here. So with the gap above, I thought on the pullback, we might get a nice long, and if it had taken out the high of the day, it could have closed beautifully. Now, one of our members said, hey, the conference call's at 10 o'clock. Great information, because it allowed me to convey to our room, say, hey, everybody, Best Buy, the setup's good, but let's pay ourselves along the way here, because who knows. I kind of made a joke. I said it could be like a Dunder Mifflin conference call, and the thing could tank. They could, who knows? They might be sitting at a conference table, in front of an audience at the Hilton conference room. I don't know how they do it. And three out of seven of them are drunk 3 sheets to the wind. So we never know what's going to happen in a conference call. But it was good to know that it was going on. Anyway, on this sell-off here, I called Best Buy using a method I teach at 32.12, somewhere right about where my arrow is here. Worst case stop was less than 20 cents below, and from 32.12, stop didn't get hit. It went all the way almost to 33. I went to 32.98, so an 86-cent move in our favor on less than 20 cents risk. Yeah, I could look at this now and say I wish I'd have shorted it up here, but I didn't. But even though this chart's so ugly, we still had a nice move in our favor after the call. And we always teach our members, anytime you get a pop, start scaling out and get to that break-even stop after you start paying yourself. So still a nice profitable opportunity for our members in Best Buy, even though, yeah, short would have been better. So anyway, I'm going to quit babbling, and we will send out another video tomorrow night on what happens in our chat room on Friday. So until then, we'll talk to you later.